Hello everyone, it is Flashback Saturday again, and the theme that Joe the Horror Man has set for this week is titled One Name Slashers. And the film I chose to review this week is titled Schizoid. This film was originally released back in 1980, and the thing that caught my eye with this one was that it's a Cannon film. And Cannon were known for their cheesy action films that were produced from the mid to late 1980s. Although they did do some horror films, there was like a 10 to Midnight, Life Force, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Like even though 10 to Midnight is a Charles Bronson detective movie, it does have like a slasher aesthetic to it, so I consider it to be a slasher film as well. All right, let me get into the plot of this one. Okay, so essentially we have this therapy group, which is being headed up by Klaus Kinski, and the members end up getting murdered off. At the same time, one of the members is an advice columnist for the newspaper, and she begins receiving death threats in the mail, and they kind of are connected to these murders. So that's pretty much it for the plot. This film has a major downside to it, and it's that this film's supposed to be a whodunit, but the director accidentally reveals the identity of the killer within 2 minutes of the film. Like, and it's something that they could have went back and probably fixed real quick, but for some reason they didn't. So we're going through this film, and you pretty much know who the killer is, but everyone's acting like you don't, like which is kind of odd. Like, I mean, I'll say right now, like any horror film fan is gonna know who the killer is right off the bat as soon as they show him. Unfortunately, like his face is still in the shadows, but you can see just enough of him that you know who the killer is. Um, this film does do a good job with its red herrings, though, which is kind of a shame. Like, essentially, you get the two main red herrings. You have Klaus Kinski, who appears to be acting in a different movie than everybody else. Like, he's in some bizarre art film where everybody else is making a horror film. Um, and you have Christopher Lloyd, who plays it pretty much straight. He even talks normal. I'm used to him talking weird in movies, but in this film, he's like this normal, lonely guy, which I thought was kind of interesting. Um, and then you kind of have Klaus Kinski's daughter, who's played by Donna Wilkes, and she ended up being in the first Angel movie. I think she was replaced by Betsy Russell for parts 2 and 3, but she was the first original Angel. You know, the high school student by day, hooker by night, revenge type movie. Um, and she's really good in this one too, and she's weird in this one as well. She has this whole thing where I guess her mother had died, and she's not dealing with it really well, so she's acting really weird too. So you got both her and Klaus Kinski acting weird throughout this movie. And the rest of everybody else is pretty much played straight. The one thing I did like was the choice of the killer's weapon in this one. He uses these scissors. So there's lots of scenes of stabbing, although most of the murder scenes weren't handled as well as they should have been. Like, there should have been like some fingers being snipped off, or maybe like a nostril or ear or something like that, and there's none of that, unfortunately. It would have been a lot cooler if they did that. This film doesn't play like an American film. It plays like a giallo film, and the killer does use black gloves, which I thought was a nice touch. So I don't know. What saved the film for me was Klaus Kinski and Donna Wilkes, because they're so nutty in this film. As a slasher film, this film doesn't really play that well, but their scenes together um, are quite awesome. And that's what they actually have here. Like, this is a scene for them together where she's having a fit and he's trying to calm her down. Although it looks like he's attacking her, which I thought was kind of odd. I switched this over because this is like the Scream Factory double feature release with X-Ray, and I wanted just to show this as opposed to X-Ray. So that's it, guys. That's my review for Schizoid. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and be sure to check out everybody else's review this week. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you all later.